The animations that follow again involve relationships between rates and averages. In particular, they focus on two different ways that students often use to think about the summer jobs problem. One method begins by finding rates. Then, you calculate averages of these rates. The other method begins by finding averages. Then, you calculate rates of these averages. The main point that you should notice is that workers often are ranked quite differently, depending on which of these methods is used. And this is true even though both methods end up using some kind of rate. The following animations show why this is true. First, let's look at simplified data for two workers, one on the left side of this diagram and one on the right. For the worker on the left, the diagram shows data for 2 days, or 2 weeks, or for 2 months. During the first period of work, this worker earned 3 bags of money for 3 hours of work. And, during the second period, this worker again earned 3 bags of money for 3 hours of work. For the worker on the right, the diagram again shows data for 2 days, or 2 weeks, or for 2 months. But, during the first period of work, this worker earned 4 bags of money for 2 hours of work. And, during the second period, this worker earned 1 bag of money for 5 hours of work. Now, let's describe these situations using something closer to a mathematical language. In fact, if we use the language of rates, then the worker on the left earned 1 bag of money per hour during the first period, and 1 bag of money per hour during the second period. And, the worker on the right earned 2 bags of money per hour during the first period, and 1/5 bag of money per hour during the second period. Now, if we add or average these rates, then we see that the worker on the left averaged 1 bag of money per hour, whereas the worker on the right averaged 1.1 bags of money per hour. So, using this method, the worker on the right appears to have outperformed the worker on the left. Now, let's see what happens if we begin by adding or averaging both the dollars and the times, and then using these averages to calculate a rate. The worker on the left earns 1 bag of money per hour, and the worker on the right earns 5/7 of a bag of money per hour. So, using this method, the worker on the left appears to have outperformed the worker on the right. Which method is correct? Every method is based on assumptions. And, what's important is to choose a method whose assumptions are consistent with those that describe the situation best. The top method assumes that, for each worker, the 2 rates that are being combined are equally important. So, earning 1 bag of money in 1 hour is treated as being the same as earning 100 bags in 100 hours. Whereas, the bottom method gives more weight to large numbers. So, 5 bags of money in 1 hour plus 1 bag of money on 5 hours is treated as being the same as 6 bags of money in 6 hours. So, the question to ask is, which of these assumptions best describe your situation? With these points in mind, let's now return to the summer jobs problem. Here is a Tinker Plots worksheet where the first 2 graphs show the dollars earned and the times worked for each worker for each period of work, slow, steady, and fast, for June, July, and August. Then the 2 graphs of the right show the productivity of workers using 2 different methods. The first method finds the rate of means, and the second method finds the mean of rates. Then, the bottom 3 graphs show the sales rate of workers for June, July, and August, and 4 slow, steady, and fast periods of sales. To see all of the data points for any given worker, you can click data points in any graph and corresponding data points will be highlighted in other graphs. So, this procedure can be used to investigate details about the dollars earned, the time worked, or the rate of sales for any worker you choose. And, for any worker, you can click and drag data points in the top 2 graphs in order to investigate how specific data points impact the 2 measures of worker productivity. For any worker, and for any period of time, you can change the dollars earned, or the hours worked, by selecting the Drag Value tool in either one of the top two graphs. You cannot click and drag data points in the other graphs because they deal with quantities that are calculated from information about hours and dollars. In your homework assignment for today, your goal is to click and drag data points to that specific workers have significantly different measures of productivity in the two graphs on the right.